Good day. This is the chapter Life and Living under Natural Sciences, the first chapter of the first term. This chapter entails us about understanding plant cells and how plant cells differ from animal cells, as in which their organelles are not the same. At the same time, their structural components are not the same. A cell is a basic unit of life. Life starts from a cell. Where two or more cells combine, they will form what we call a tissue, and two or more tissues combine, they will form what we call an organ. And different organs combine, they will form what we call an organism. But starting off, we should be able to understand the basic unit of life, how it is structurally structured to serve its purpose. The plant cell is made up of what we call a chloroplast. And a plant cell is made out of what we call a mitochondrion. A plant cell is also having what you call a nucleus, and a plant cell is having what you call a large vacuole or no vacuole at all. Now, the function of a chloroplast is that a chloroplast contains a green pigment known as chlorophyll. This chlorophyll helps in the process of what we call photosynthesis, where plants are able to manufacture their own food using radiant energy from the sun. The plant cell is also made up of what we call a mitochondrion. The mitochondrion serves the function that when a chloroplast has been able to make food, the food or the energy that has been created by the chloroplast is stored in the mitochondrion, where the mitochondrion is referred to as the powerhouse of the cell. All the energy will be released in accordance with which when the plant or the cell itself is wanting to release energy to the whole structure of the plant. We have what we call a nucleus. The nucleus serves the purpose of being able to control all the metabolic processes within the cell, as the chloroplast will be able to create a food for the plant, and the chloroplast will be able to render the energy that is created by the chloroplast to the mitochondria, and it is stored in the mitochondria. But the nucleus itself is the one that serves the function to be able to control all of these processes that take place within the cell. We have what we call a large vacuole. The large vacuole is a temporary sac that may be there or also not be there in a plant cell, whereby it serves the purpose to store water for the plant, that when a plant is needing water, the plant is able to transport water, or the cell is needing water, the cell is able to transfer water to each and every organelle that is within the plant cell. Now, the plant cell differs from an animal cell in that a plant cell is made up of a rigid shape. The shape is given by what we call the cell wall. As you see in this green line here in this plant cell of mine, this represents what we call the cell wall. And as you see in this orange line or square part, this represents what we call a cell wall. The cell wall serves the functions to give the plant its rigid shape. It makes the plant to be stiff, and it keeps the plant cells consistent within the plant. That's why plant cells are always the same, because of what we call the cell wall. We have what we call the cell membrane within the plant cell. The cell membrane serves the functions to be semi-permeable. It is able to allow nutrients, dissolved nutrients, to come in and out of the cell. But it is selectively permeable because it selects the type of material that will come into function into what we call the cell. And lastly but surely, we have what we call our cytoplasm. Our cytoplasm is a function as that all the organelles and all the dissolved substances that come into the cell are within the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is also known as the cytosol. It stores all of these organelles. But just to pinpoint, and to be able to see, so that the learners are able to grasp the content and be able to know which is which. This is our nucleus. This is our nucleus. The nucleus is almost a round shape and has a dot in the middle of it, made up of endoplasmic reticulum. Our nucleus, a round dot that has a small dot inside that serves the function to control all metabolic processes in the plant. We have what we call here a mitochondrion. The mitochondrion has these steps like shapes. Remember, the mitochondrion is the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondrion is the powerhouse of the cell. This is our mitochondrion. This is our mitochondrion. The chloroplast, obviously, as it contains a green pigment, it will be in structure, be in such a way whereby there will be segments that are intertwined or joined in square formulas, so that the energy that is created there when food is created, the plant is able to use chlorophyll and to synthesize so as to transport it to the mitochondrion. And we have as they serve the function of the cell wall. The cell wall serves the function to give this plant its structure and also give the shape and give the constant shape within all the plant cells. And we have our large vacuole. Sometimes our vacuole will be small, or it can be not in existence, depending on the type of plant that is there, either an aquatic plant or a land plant. This one is able to store water temporarily so that it is able to send it through all the parts of the cell when the cell is needing what we call water. We have also our cell membrane. Our cell membrane is the inner part after the cell wall, because cell membrane is able to selectively select what comes in and what comes out of this cell. My lesson in this sense is more simpler because we are trying to introduce this by starting off with the plant cell. In the next lesson, we will go forward to explaining now the animal cell, so that after that one, we are able to understand the difference between a plant cell and an animal cell.